The pattern you're fighting is here to free you. In case we haven't met yet, I'm Jess X Goh, and I'm the sole founder of Life in Confidence. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the latest insight into trauma recovery. If you got any nuggets of gold from this video, please give it a like, comment below what you got from it, and share it with your loved ones who need to hear this. Have you ever noticed that there is a set ingrained pattern inside of you that you are aware that this can cause an issue with other people? Let's say, for example, that you have the need to be right, and this creates unnecessary conflict and arguments with your loved ones because you have this need to prove yourself that you are right, that your opinion and your perspective matters over theirs, that you've got proof of evidence, and so forth. And so, what is driving that behavior? When we dissolve the unresolved childhood trauma patterns that has formed and shaped our personality to act a certain way, to defend, to protect ourselves, to stay stuck in coping mechanisms because it just doesn't feel safe to feel our emotions, we need to look and investigate what is driving that. And so for me, in the past, I have always wanted to pick fights with my mum to prove that her criticism is wrong and what I'm saying is right. And that is because of my unresolved childhood traumas of being manipulated and betrayed by my mother. I didn't feel I was supported by her through her opinions and perspective. And when I started to dive deeper in clearing the karmic ties with my mother on a soul level, I could see and feel myself differently when I decided to reconnect with her over the phone. I noticed there was a shift. I noticed there was softness and compassion on her end. I noticed that I don't feel the need to force my ideas and opinions on her anymore about the past. So what I've learned from the pattern of the need to be right is to be neutral. And to be neutral of someone's opinions and their ideas and emotions comes from forgiveness and acceptance of ourselves first and then the other. Because this is where we set ourselves free from these patterns. Another pattern that I can share with you is that I've lived nomadically and I live out of 2 suitcases, and I want to keep decluttering more of my personal belongings that I feel that is weighing me down, that I don't need anymore. And so I listed my personal belongings on Facebook Marketplace, and I received this inquiry from a man that he will purchase 3 bikinis. And we set a date and time, and I gave him the address to pick up. The time came and he didn't show up. I messaged him on Facebook and he left the chat. Now, the old me would be so attached to the commitment because I was attached to let go of my personal belongings in exchange for some cash. And so what I learned from this experience is that this is nothing new. This isn't the first time this has happened to me on Facebook Marketplace. And it's not the first time that this hasn't happened to anyone either. And so what shifted for me was that there was no longer an attachment to the customer or the buyer or to the sale because I wasn't attached to the money. It's only $30. And so for some people, $30 is a lot. And so for me, what I've learned from this is that a new pattern has been ingrained in me. And to do that, I must experience something that would test me if I am truly in alignment in a far much more deeper and embodied way, that something has been shifted and cleared within me that is no longer serving me anymore. That's keeping me contracted, blocked, and stuck with money. And instead, that I can let it go. That I don't need that money. I don't need that person. And that this is just really small money for me. So, the beauty in this is that, wow, this is what I call abundance. Because abundance is not about contraction or living in fear or checking my bank account 24/7, how much do I have in it? And it's really about being in alignment. What feels right for me? What makes me feel expansive? What makes me feel joyful? And so when we are able to really embody these new patterns, these experiences that we encounter present to ourselves, that it's not there to get us caught up in another victim story or a false programming by default. It's there to show you you have embodied this new pattern. How amazing is that? Because when we are able to do so, it's this next level of liberation from within, that we're no longer holding on to something so petty, such as the need to be right with my mother, to allow ourselves to be free. And so that's the beauty of these patterns. It's constantly reflecting back to ourselves what we need to let go of in order, what is it that we can gain from a place of embodiment, not from a place of doing or performing or acting or brainwashing ourselves to think a certain way. No, because that's not coming from a place of embodiment or alignment. That is just manipulation, control, figuring things out from the head, from the ego, from the coping mechanisms that are there to protect you. But you don't need that extra layer of protection anymore. And so that's the beauty of breaking these patterns, is when you come from a place of alignment. And it's possible for you. If it's possible for me, and I'm just an average Joe Blow here, I'm not the Buddha, I'm not the enlightened one, I'm not the ascended Jesus, Christ, whatever it is. I'm no one special, I'm just like you. It's just that I figured out a way how to get to the other side a lot more faster than most healers who are still wounded and triggered by their parents. They still have fractured relationships with them and have cut ties with them. And so for me, embodiment is not to do that anymore with my family members. It's to keep connected with them. It doesn't mean that they are my best friends in the world. What it means is that I have neutralized my karmic connections with them, and that I can still have a connection and conversation with them from a place of neutral. So my love, if you are ready to dive deep in breaking these patterns and embodying your life lessons from a place of alignment, I invite you to come along to my upcoming trauma recovery workshops and retreats. If you're not able to see me face to face, then you can join me for my winter solstice ancestral trauma clearing circle to clear the karmic burdens that we've taken on from our lineages and get access to the replay for 1 month. And that is the same with embodied prosperity. If you want to transform your relationship with money so you can start living your rich life, this is the container for you. We'll be focusing on the negative imprints and traumas that we have around money from our childhood, from our ancestral lineage, and from the matrix. So you can be in recalibration of your real wealth. And everyone's experiences of wealth is so different. And this is what makes this so unique to every single person jumping into Embodied Prosperity online workshop. And if you prefer to work with me privately for a tailored experience, whether it's my 3-month container called Find Yourself and Trust, or to work with me face-to-face for a half day or full day immersion, you can find all of the links in the video description. So what will you break in this lifetime? What patterns are you ready to dissolve and let go? What is it that you are ready to embody within yourself? This is the power of healing, is by going within to see within your heart and soul the programmings that is no longer in alignment with who you really are, the light that's in your heart. This is your invitation to step up and say yes to you.